Okay, so I'm still dialing in this overclock. I guess 3000 megahertz was not stable at 0.975 volt and indicated 0.975 volt because in the frequency curve in MSI Afterburner, I actually have had it set to 1 and now it's set to 1.025 in MSI AB and it's showing up as 1 there. So I'm just going to keep increasing the voltage forever how much voltage it takes up to one. I guess factory voltage is 1.05. So I mean, I'm kind of expecting a lot. I'm expecting to overclock by like 300 megahertz and undervolt at the same time. And I'm basically beyond like the optimal. I'm beyond the point at which with any piece of silicon, whether it's a CPU or a GPU, you know you're like at the limit when it just getting that extra 100 megahertz requires an inordinate increase in voltage, and that's where I am now. Because it can do 2700 megahertz at only what 0.9 shit. What is it? 900 millivolts. It can do 2700 megahertz. Now, just for that additional 300 megahertz, which is like what 10%. It requires an additional 100 millivolts. That's a huge increase in millivolts. Like if we look here, let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and test the stability. This is Dogtown. This is like the most demanding area of the game. This is, let's see what I have here, just in case I don't, yeah, everything's maxed out. Path tracing's on, 2 times frame gen, 7680 by 2160. Everything's maxed out, right? So let's go ahead and show you the performance difference. So this is just some random, I'm in Dogtown somewhere. Beautiful game. This is actually the prettiest part of the game. 26 degrees on the water, 42 degrees on the GPU core. Memory temperature there behind, because I couldn't find an entry in MSI Afterburner. Oh, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, I think I just loaded a save. That's annoying. I gotta sort out the hotkeys, but behind there, that's memory temperature, 48 degrees. Yeah, so 50 degrees on the memory. I couldn't find an entry in MSI Afterburner for memory junction. But let's go ahead and see what happens when I switch from this ridiculous profile at 3000 megahertz, 540 watts, to the more pedestrian one of 2700 megahertz. So my FPS went from 88, 89, right? Dropped 100 watts. Look at that. Dropped 100 watts. Now I'm at 38 degrees. Now I have a 10 degree over water delta on the GPU core, top left. And I'll switch back to the ridiculous profile. So, what, it went from 88 to 92, 93, so 5 FPS. So it's I want to say that's about like a 6-7% gain in terms of performance, that the last 300 megahertz. But the it's another 100 watts, dude. Look at that. 537, right? 95 FPS. Let's drop down. 440, 89 FPS, 90 FPS. This is why I don't even run that other profile. I mean, I might still use it in VR, because in VR, every percentage point matters when you're trying to maintain, when you need that last bit of performance. But this is why I don't even run that profile. Look at this. 445 watts, 40 degrees on the GPU core, top left, temp sensor, 27 degrees. Right? Now let's switch over to the other ridiculous one. 532 watts. So it's nearly 100 watts more. For, I mean, goddamn, it went from 90 to 93 FPS. GPU utilization's maxed out, so it's not like there's a CPU bottleneck here. So that's indicative of a real world gain. Cyberpunk 2077, dual 4K, path tracing enabled, 2x frame gen, DLSS performance, Dogtown, the most demanding area of the game. And you know what I'm really happy with? Look at that memory junction, dude. Top right, behind. This card at this frequency, at 500 watts, I can show you video. There's a YouTuber who I basically follow. His name is Bang for Buck Gamer. And he just recently did a video of the Cyberpunk 2077 recent 2.3 update with his tough. I mean, granted, it's summertime over in the UK. And granted, my ambient is relatively like constant year round where I'm at. So it's like 68 degrees. It's almost room temperature in here, so it's not hot. He said that it's hot in the UK where he's at right now. But his memory junction, that right there, is 92 degrees at this power draw and at this frequency. His memory junction, and I told him, I said, you want to put that thing under a water block? He said, no, I don't want to avoid the warranty. I'm going to switch back to this. So there we go. 42 degrees, 28 degrees water, 45 degrees, 550 full tilt, 3000 megahertz, nearly 550 watts. Let's switch back to this profile. And not worth it. Not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. Let's go ahead and get an idea of what it sounds like. The fans are at 35-40% RPM. Yeah. I said in an earlier video, I might just only upload this one because this one's short and sweet and to the point. I said in an earlier video that the reason why I went with this water block, actually, and this GPU also, was that the card that I upgraded from, it was an MSI Gaming Trio 4090, and it also had an EK water block, and I cross-referenced the diagrams for the water blocks, like the dimensions and the placement, the port placement, and the ports were within 1 millimeter of each other. So I went with the tough, not just because it was the cheapest, model that you can currently get at a micro center, and they recently opened a micro center near me. $2,700. Granted, that's fucking ridiculous. Honestly, that's ridiculous. But like as I was saying in my earlier video, which I may or may not connect to this one, the gains in VR are huge with the 5090. Like 60%, 60 to 100% gains in VR. And I recently upgraded my Big Screen Beyond to the Meganex 8K Superlight, and this has very high resolution displays, 3850 by 3500 each. Each display, beautiful displays. Love this headset. Absolutely love this headset. And I basically canceled my Big Screen Beyond 2 pre-order because I'm happy with this one. And I needed to recoup some of the money that I dropped on the 5090. But it's inaudible now. The reason why I went with the water block is the memory temperatures. So previously at 400 watts, I was around 60 C on the core. And that's fantastic for 400 watts, 60 C in the core. I never wanted to run it at that 550 watt, 3000 megahertz profile because the backplate, even with the undervolt at 900 millivolts, the backplate was hot to the touch, so hot, like it was ridiculous. And the memory, geez, my memory temperatures before were like 75 degrees. At 400 watts, they were 75 degrees. So, like I was saying, Bang for Buck Gamer, he's in the UK, it's summertime there. He's seeing 90 degrees. He just recently uploaded a video, and I told him, I said, dude, you want to put that thing on a water block? And he said, no, I don't want to avoid the warranty. I'm like, you're going to... And people think that that's safe. And, we apparently we have amnesia because the 2080 Ti, there was an issue where the modules on the 2080 Ti ran so hot. They ran like around 90 degrees. That's how hot the Micron memory modules were running. Were 90 degrees. And Igor's lab did analysis showing this. Those cards were literally burning up. Did we all forget about the 2080 Ti Micron memory failure running memory modules long term at 90 degrees Celsius? So, and people are like, no, I trust NVIDIA. I trust NVIDIA. I trust their engineering expertise. And they also went ahead and removed the hotspot temperature, which would usually give you like the hottest part of the card, like usually the VRM or the memory or a combination of both. It would give you the hotspot temperature. They removed that sensor altogether from Blackwell. So you no longer have any idea how hot your card is. I can tell you right now, even with the undervolt, that 5090 Tough, the backplate, I couldn't hold my hand there on the backplate for more than a second without it felt literally like a frying pan. It was fucking ridiculous. Excuse my language. But I really just went with this one to bring the overall card temperatures down. No idea what hotspot it is, but I'm confident that it's acceptable now. And because the port placement, I didn't have to make new runs. And I just recently put together this chat ago, and I didn't want to have to redo these runs because I got to pull a little miter saw out. This is brass. I got to cut brass tubing. And so very happy with the fact that the block itself, I'm happy with the fact that EK basically put those ports like basically within 1 millimeter. It shifted 1 millimeter to the rear of the chassis, which is like, that's within tolerance. Like with tubing, you can basically move tubing 1 millimeter without having to redo it. Whisper quiet with the air cooler. It made a little bit of noise. Now let's go back over here, have another look at the temperatures. Yeah, so 11 degrees, 11 degrees over water on the GPU core at 450 watts. That is fantastic. That's basically what I was getting with the 3090. I was getting a 10 degree delta over water with the GPU core. Let's have one more look at ambient so you guys can see. 67 degrees Fahrenheit. That's around 20 degrees Celsius. And look, there's memory junction in the back there, 52 degrees. Memory junction. I have to run 2 OSDs because there is no fucking memory junction entry in MSI ABI. At least I can't find one. I conclude this video. Thanks for watching. This is the brief update. Thank you for everyone. I basically got the 5090 for VR. I don't recommend this. It's a ridiculous value proposition. I don't recommend it if you're a 2D. Thanks for watching. I